Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to do the player ratings for Arsenal versus Leeds as Saka impresses and Aubameyang justifies Arteta's faith. So we're going to look at how the Gunners got on individually in their victory over Leeds in the Premier League. So first of all, we're going to look at Leno. For me, he was unlucky to have conceded 2 goals, given how little he had to do. He made one good save from a Rafinha strike, but ultimately let down those in front of him in his quest for a clean sheet. So therefore, we're going to give him a 6 for his performance. Next up, we got Hector Berry. And even though Hector Berry did score a goal today, it shouldn't mask what was a poor defensive display from the Spaniard. I think he was caught out for Leeds' second and allowed Rafinha too much space on several occasions to get shots off. He did get forward well, but needs to be more switched on at the back. So therefore, I'm going to give him a 6 as well. Next up is David Luiz. And for David Luiz, he's someone that had a decent first half display, and he was dribbled beyond the Leeds press well on 2 separate occasions. But David Luiz will be disappointed with how he was beaten in the air for Pascal Struijk's consolation goal. The only blemish on a good afternoon for the Gunners, and for that performance he also deserves a 6. Next up we got Gabriel. He was given the nod over Rob Holding for the game after a mixed display at Villa Park, but today it was much better from the Brazilian. He still looks a little low on confidence after a dip in form around the festive period and was a little shaky on a few occasions. So therefore, he will also get a 6. Next up is Cedric Suarez. And for Cedric Suarez, another disrespectable display from the Portuguese international, doing an admirable job filling in at left back a couple of occasions, where being right-footed let him down for crossing opportunities on the left, but it was still a decent display from Cedric, so he deserves a 6 as well. Next up, we got Dani Ceballos. And I think he was brought in for his first start in over a month, and he did very well in the first half. He did a nutmeg assist for Hector Berry's goal, which was one of the highlights, and he tailed off a touch in the second period and gave the ball away on a few occasions. However, I think it was a really strong return overall, so therefore he gets a 7 in my opinion. Next up, we got Granit Xhaka. He was another solid performance from the Swiss international, who picked up an assist for Aubameyang's opener. He was efficient when it comes to possession and positionally secure, and it looks like Xhaka looks to be in a really good place for Arsenal, and Mikel will be hoping it can continue. So for his performance, he will deserve a 7. And next up, we got Bukayo Sakai, and I think it was another outstanding display from the 90-year-old, who seems to vary his style depending on his opposition. He pressed much higher than in previous games to great effect, winning 2 penalties and constantly drew fouls from opponents. Pantomime villain Ezcan Alioski was run ragged by the youngster and looked glad to be withdrawn early in the second half, so for his performance he deserves an 8. Next up, we got Martin Ødegaard. And he's someone that showed a few nice touches to manoeuvre away from the intense Leeds press, but he didn't influence the game as much as he would have wanted to on his first start. However, there are some promising signs, though, from the Norwegian, Lonely, so he deserves a 6. Next up, we got Smith Rowe, and there are some questions as to whether Smith Rowe meant his assist for Aubameyang's third, but we're going to give it to him. Another fantastic display from the 20-year-old. He started this time from the left, but drifted centrally to great effect, so he's someone that deserves an 8. Next up is the main man, our talisman, our captain, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and it was a big decision for Mikel to start Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang ahead of nicolas, pepe and Alex Lacazette, but the Gabon striker more than justified his manager's faith, a first Premier League hat-trick from the club captain, who actually linked play almost as well as he finished the chances on this day, so he deserves a 9. Overall, when it comes to the other players, I think Willian was poor. El Neni and holding did come a bit too late. But other than that, it was a solid performance from Arsenal. Hopefully they can continue this form. And other than that, guys, remain blessed, stay tuned for the next video, and peace.